So immunoglobulin types, everything's super high yield obviously. We just went over class switching, going from IgM to everything else. So, here we go. So yeah, everything expresses IgM and IgD on their surface. Well, if you look right here, you've got the IgM and the IgD thing. Both of them, before you class switch and cut this out and then one of the other ones out. So it's, I don't know if I said that last time, but keep that in mind. So anyway, IgM, obviously, because it's the first one there, it's going to be the first thing, and its immediate response. But let's go to IgG. Everyone knows IgG is the secondary response. They love testing how abundant it is. This thing also crosses the placenta. They say Ig greets the growing fetus, whatever. Okay, you can just think Ig, goo goo gaga, and IgG. Or just remember that IgG crosses the placenta. Alright. IgA. Well, also. This is a big reason why after your first pregnancy you got to get some ROGAM, because it's the IgG in the next pregnancy that's going to cross into the placenta and kill the kid. Or not, just theoretically. Anyway, IgA. What's important here? Importance for bacteria, mucous membranes. It's important in the gut. Monomer and circulation. My goodness, do they test this. You got your fancy little J chain, which you also see in your IgM. Breast milk. Anything that's secretory, kind of think IgA. Alright. IgM. Haha. B cell monomer, J cell pentamer. Why? What's the point of having this pentamer? Well, look right here. Look at how many times you can bind to an antigen while everything's developing. You can bind a zillion times. Okay. IgD, we saw how on the coding strand it's right there with IgM. What it does, I can't really tell you. And neither can first aid. And then IgE, everyone knows, mast cells, basophils, cross-linking really quickly, releasing histamine. Activates eosinophils. How can you remember that? E for eosinophils. Okay, thymus dependent, thymus independent. There's a reason why you have polysaccharide vaccines, and there's a reason why you end up having things that ends up getting conjugated with the protein vaccines. One of them has a protein, the other one is just a bunch of sugar. The ones that have a protein are able to have the kind of adaptive immunity that we talk about with B cells and T cells and class switching and all that kind of stuff. Well, the other ones don't. The other ones, the memory cells really aren't there. Nothing's working the same. And hence it's weakly immunogenic. You need 1 billion boosters. Okay. So the big thing here, understanding IgM's the first one, then IgG. IgG crosses the placenta. IgA is secretory. Understanding the differences with the J chain. When is it on B cells? When is it not on B cells? What's the structure when it's just in the serum versus on the B cells? And then what's the point of IgE? And of course, they love testing this. Peptide versus non-peptide, and how that affects memory, and how that affects boosters, and how that affects your response to it. Because you can already think of a question that they're going to ask you. They're going to say, hey, we got a peptide And then they can start asking things like, oh, MHC1, MHC2. Or they can trick you and they can say, hey, we've got LPS, or we've got, not LPS, we've got some sort of saccharide to which, MHC is going to bind or something. And now you start thinking, wait a second, the answer is going to be none of the above. So yeah.